Representative Amo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thanks again, Undersecretary, for being here. You're responsible for advancing American commercial interests abroad, opening markets, supporting U.S. businesses, and strengthening our economic position. Because your role is so very important to the U.S.'s role in the global economy, I want to make sure we're on the same page with a few straightforward yes or no questions. Can the United States thrive in the global economy completely on its own, yes or no?
Thank you, Congressman, for your question. The United States is obviously not alone. We just hosted one of the largest.
So that's a yes. I got limited
largest
time.
Ministerials in our department's history, with over 55
Right.
countries in attendance.
Does the United States have economic and national security advantages that depend on strong alliances and global partnerships? Yes or no?
Congressman, the United States has probably the strongest alliances it's ever had. We created
Great,
the
thank
Board
you.
of
No,
Peace
I'm going to reclaim my time. Hold on.
through the National Security
Should public
Council.
officials ever use their positions to enrich themselves or their families? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, do you mind repeating the
Should
question?
public officials ever use their positions to enrich themselves or their families?
I obviously and totally disagree with the premise of your question.
It's a yes or no.
It's
All right. Well, that's
agree with the premise of your question. You're implying improper conduct, which I obviously disagree with. There's no basis for that.
well. I'm sure nobody's made any money off of the dealings that are happening right now. But let's keep
I'm
going.
sure the
should
irony isn't lost
should
upon
our
you.
foreign policy be based on the profit motives of private individuals over that of working Americans or our national security?
Congressman, you're making an insinuation about malintent, which again,
Mr. Helberg, I reclaim my time. If you can't give
disagree
clear
with.
answers to these simple questions, that tells me a lot. The reality is this, and I think you agreed with this part, which is we do not succeed alone. Our economic strength depends on alliances, and public service is not a vehicle for personal gain. I believe that. I would hope you believe that too. But you seem to think it's fine the public officials in this administration are using their positions to enrich themselves and
I
their
did
families.
not say that.
Well,
You're
you didn't
putting
answer the
words- you're
question.
asking rhetorical
Here's the
questions
thing.
and
Here's the
putting-
thing. President Trump's chaotic tariff policy undermines that reality. Instead of fulfilling your role as Undersecretary to stabilize our commercial diplomacy, you said that Trump's tariffs are, quote, an indispensable shield, unquote, that will bring back American manufacturing. Trump's tariffs have been declared by the Supreme Court as illegal, arbitrary, and constantly shifting. And after the Supreme Court made its ruling, he announced a new 10% global tariff and wants to go higher. That kind of whiplash makes it impossible for our allies to negotiate in good faith. And workers, manufacturers, and American consumers are suffering the consequences. That's a fact.
No, it's
Recent
not.
studies, excuse me,
Inflation is under
I'm reclaiming my
3%.
time, Mr. Helberg. Recent studies have shown Americans are paying 95% of these tariffs, and they cost the average household about $1,000 in 2025. And domestic manufacturing has declined under President Trump's watch. The manufacturing industry lost 108,000 jobs during the first year of his second term. And we're going to hear differently tonight, but those are the facts. Manufacturers in my district, the people I work for, that you work for too, are telling me that they're hurt and they're not being helped. One told me, quote, if the goal is to help bring back manufacturing industries and jobs to the United States, the current administration's sweeping tariff policy is having the complete opposite effect. A so-called indispensable shield does not create chaos. It doesn't raise costs, and it doesn't weaken our standing with our allies. Your job as a public servant is to strengthen American commercial diplomacy, not to defend Trump's instability that makes us less competitive and less trusted around the world. Costs are rising, small businesses are struggling, and our global credibility is eroding. That is the state of the union, the real state of the union that we should be hearing tonight, but we're gonna hear the opposite. We will hear some half-truths and maybe some lies. We should be pursuing a stable, strategic trade policy that strengthens alliances and lowers costs, not pushing one that creates confusion and hands leverage to our competitors. Look, I look forward to you and your role deciding that you're gonna stand up for the American people, to put Americans first and not America last. That is what public servants are supposed to do. I'm not trying to lecture you, but the American people are looking for more. They're demanding more. And with that, I yield back.
Representative yields back. Representative